And that's, again, bragging points. So this is something that all four of these guys coming into this week we're talking about. Like, they want to win because they want to be able to brag to their teammates. You know, if they want to be able to always hold this over the rest of their team. And TTigers is on the verge of being able to say, look, none of you were able to beat me in the round robin. Like, it's period, end of story, I win.
Yeah, they certainly won't let each other down. I mean, that's really one of the best parts of the Vainglory community is it's so tight-knit and everyone is good friends with each other. At the end of the day, they can kind of joke and pick at each other for winning events such as these. The draft, though, nothing too surprising or out of the ordinary quite yet.
Yeah, pretty standard bans coming out thus far. It's, you know, not really too surprising, although we are going to have that flicker taken off the board. So that's a pick that has had some pretty serious impact thus far, that has been played a lot, now going to be banned away instead.
Yeah, I mean, I think the flicker pick has looked so strong and successful. That's just something that TTigers does not want to have to deal with, especially knowing that Oldschool's team can execute it very, very effectively.
Yeah, but now the question is, who's going to be left open as a result of that flicker ban? Because, you know, someone else is going to be available instead. So we see Arden also going to be taken off the board. Lorelei will be that first pick. Lorelei has had some massive impact. I mean, she's so strong with her kit alone, let alone her base numbers, her early damage from her passive. There's just so much going on in her favor.
Yeah, the Crystal Power Lorelei, the damage is absolutely no joke, but she can be flexed just as easily into like a captain role if it needs to. I mean, even Hammy at the back of the start of 5v5, he was playing it in the top lane, so a lot of different ways you kind of utilize her. At least more recently, we've seen her in the mid lane as the mid lane carry, because that water wall, the crystal ratio on the water wall, so effective at keeping not just Lorelei herself alive if necessary, but her teammates as well.
Now, Lyra, Adagio, and then a Lance. A lot of traditional support heroes getting picked up here early. Finn was even being hovered, and that's basically 5 support heroes if Finn does get locked in. But now it seems like TTigers, they want to get themselves a carry, and they do grab that Silvernail. Silvernail, again, arguably the strongest bot laner in the game.
Yeah, I really like the Silvernail pick by Team Tigers. I'm actually surprised that Oldskool didn't really opt for that pick. I don't know that they necessarily had to take the Adagio when they did, even though Adagio is such a strong pick right now. They're going to get the Yates as well, so a little bit more tanky front line, a great tool for engaging if they are able to catch.
Also just stealing it away from TTigers.
Yeah, exactly. If they catch Silvernail out of position, it's going to be really tough for Mixi to try and deal with.
Yeah, he can use his knockback, but that's about all that he has. Inara, though, can, again, help keep a Silvernail safe. You know, you start chasing onto him, Inara just kicks someone away, and all of a sudden you've created space for the Silvernails to work with, put down some of those stakes, and create those difficult pathways for the team to get through. Finn does get locked in the end as well, so a very durable front line in front of this Silvernail.
Yeah, they're going to be a little bit slow, though. The mobility is definitely something that TTigers has to watch out for. I really like the Inara pick, though. Her ultimate is going to be critical for these team fights.
They're a little slow at base, but they have the Inara ultimate, and they have the pools from the Lorelei. That is a ton of team-wide mobility that can be provided. So I think the mobility is actually going to be okay for them this time around, especially with the flicker taken off the board.
I want to talk a little bit about the communication for these two teams as well. We've been able to hear them talking to their teams throughout the games today. Is there a communication advantage? Do you reckon either of these guys are a stronger shot caller coming on into the game?
I think naturally, but probably Oldschool's a little bit more vocal. I mean, I've never personally played with either of these players, so it's hard to tell.
All right, well, we'll see how this one's going to pan out. It's time to jump into game number 6. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a decider on our hands. It's TTigers up against Oldskool. Game 6 of Tribe Week, as I pass it back to Humanist and Dowsy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the debatably most important matchup of the day as Team TTigers takes on Team Oldskool. I'm Humanist, joined by Dowsy, ready to get this one underway.
Yeah, and if you're going to play anything to determine whether or not you can make it to a final, it seems like Adagio is fitting for Oldskool here. We'll have to see if he's able to pull it off. Adagio always been one of his best and it's all about comfort, really, for Team Oldskool. But you know which team's most comfortable, Humanist? It's got to be TTigers. They're already into the finals. They're already playing for $2,000 at the end of the day, winner takes all. If they can take out Oldskool, then they get to sit back, relax, watch the second round robin, really just get a bit more information on their opponents. If they do lose to Oldskool, then that's when you start sweating, because you're just going to immediately rematch them in a best of 3.
Are you? Well, hold that. I want to get your take on who you think has the better chance here, based off composition and all other factors. It looked like there was going to be some aggression. In fact, we might have our first blood. Gaspy dropping low. He's going to be able to get himself. Nobody goes down just yet. But Dowsey, do you have any strong preferences here? Are you leaning one way over the other?
It's hard to say, because I mean, we got Mixi playing Silvernail, and Silvernail was just so strong in the meta. Blanks has had kinetic every game so far of this this round robin, and I mean, Blanks's kinetic hasn't looked terrible. I wouldn't say it's like top tier, best weapon power carry in North America level. And you're going up against Mixi, who could potentially start taking that title. Definitely had it at one point. So I mean, it's hard to say whether or not one composition is better than the other, but you do have a bit more moving pieces, you could say, when it comes to Oldskool. You know, you've got that CP Adagio, and it's one of his best. You've got that kinetic, which is going to allow for a lot of sustained damage, and then that Reza Neon Fire has had some pretty big performances so far. Definitely needs to kind of shape up. Humanist hasn't always been as consistent as you'd want to see out of your top laner, but you know, Oldschool's team, essentially, is what I'm trying to say, do have the ability to take down TTigers, but they have to. Like, it's what you might have the ability on your best day, sure, but TTigers' best day has been all day, and so actually winning against this roster is going to be very difficult.
It is indeed. I agree with you. I think Team Oldskool has the tools to go ahead and find this victory here. I'm curious, like, how it's going to get done. Obviously, Delphi has to tank up so he can be a bit of a front line for his team, do some of that engaging. But at the same time, they have the ability to go ahead and ride that arcane passage through as a team to just kind of get wherever they want, engage on whoever they want. So there's a couple different ways they can look to approach this.
Yeah, and I love Delphi. He's a good boyo and all, but I mean, when you compare Delphi's jungle abilities to TTigers, I don't think they're quite on the same playing field.
I wasn't gonna go there with it, but you did.
I mean, me and Delphi, we have a good history against each other. He's a cute boyo and all, but I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, TTigers is playing on a different level when it comes to Vainglory. Delphi has had some good plays over this entire All Stars, event, but he's been off and on. Like, it hasn't been consistency, and you really do need to see that constant jungle pressure if you're going to be winning those side lanes so heavily. And as we saw, I guess, at the beginning of the Gabe Vizzle versus Dienzio matchup, that if you do win side lane heavily, then it kind of dictates the flow of the game. And that's something that TTigers team has been able to do so consistently because, I mean, their jungler is TTigers.
Well, you said it. Delphi has been off and on, but one thing is TTigers has been turned on the entire time, and we would expect it out of this guy. Delphi up in top, though, getting the better of Gaspy for the time being, slightly underleveled as compared to Gaspy, but no real surprises there. We should start to see some of these side lane turrets dropping here in the next 30 seconds to minute.
Yeah, no, I mean, right now, Mixi and TTigers have put down a lot of work setting it up. Blanks and Delphi are starting to move in. This Lance before level 6 is a little bit risky. You don't have that combat role to reposition when necessary, and so you have to play it a little bit more defensively, as opposed to a Rezo who has the mobility. So in theory, you would think that Blanks and Delphi have more pressure in the early game, but so far, Mixi and TTigers have kind of been doing more work.
More early game rotations happening here, as we see, of course, Team TTigers looking to control the bottom area of this map to get the healing treant over to Tiggs, and now onto the crystal treant with Cause frontlining for their team, starting all over. He's got some nice item progression here, and actually it's going to be the pull from Delphi, pulling Tiggs back in. Tiggs jumps forward. Now they have double crystal buff on the side of Shaded Talent, and Oldskool, as they were able to take that away from the aggressive move out of Team TTigers.
Yeah, I mean, they don't stack, but they do refresh. Oldschool's moving in onto starting all over, trying to do some work. It is just damage dealt. It's not going to be a kill here in the mid lane just yet. But never mind, in the top lane, Blanks catches out at Gatsby in a bad rotation. And that's actually really devastating for TTigers' team because that turret probably wasn't going to go down if Gatsby survived for a little bit longer.
Force the cord plus the turret shot. They'll be able to tie up the kill score 1-1 as turrets fall in the top lane. And the chase goes on for Shade of Talent Sigil. Not going to come down in time. Starting finds 2.
Starting finds 2 on this Lorelei, and now that mid lane turret is going to take some damage as well. 18.5 thousand gold. Both teams are even at this point. Looks like it's going to be a Ghost Wing attempt. Can Delphi steal it over the wall?
Nah.
Nah.
Delphi's not turned on. Turned off and on, and it was off right there.
Yeah.
Well, Dalsy, as we start to approach this early mid-game, late early game situation, you see momentum building up for Team Oldskool over here. And it's looking pretty good coming together. You have to wonder, like, what's the deal, or how do you deal with this Adagio, who can just ramp up and just pump damage? Like, look, it makes the Finn look squishy right there. Drops down, Blanks lands the shot there with the ultimate. Nice shot for the finishing blow onto Cause. And with this, it puts them in a position where they can start to take down some of the scout cams, get control over the Crystal Treant, and constantly just putting themselves one step ahead.
I mean, it's 20 seconds of a Ghost Wing wasted as well. Not what you want. You want to have your Finn ready to go, and maybe they get more.
Whoa, Arcane Passage in, aggressive plays. Verse gonna be stunned off, but Oldskool chasing forward. They've got Mixi starting all over as well down. Tig's taking a lot of damage. Gatsby does what he can to peel. Now looking for the impale, but I'm not sure what the play is. Look, they're just looking. You want to defend here. You're not making any plays. You don't have serious damage. You know, Gatsby building this weapon lance, but if you don't have Mixi, if you don't have starting, you lose really all your damage.
Yeah, you do, and that is basically the story. Is if you can cycle those kills, like they were able to do, you waste your Ghost Wing, yeah, but you also can initiate fights. And Shade of Talent pulled the trigger so perfectly to get on top of them. Delphi could have landed that pool of the Yates, and it could have also been devastating. But you know, you can just imagine when the CC is all working together.
Oh, Oldskool just laying it home on a starting. Force the cord, pulls him back. He's trying to whoop on through. Arcane Passage, not enough to psych them out. They chase it down, find the kill. It's gonna be Dragon's Eye picked up for Oldskool while he's back at the base respawning. In the meantime, his team tries to hold the defense in this mid lane. Delphi gets a stun onto 3, just buying time. Gatsby actually booting onto the mid lane here. They've made the call. We want this turret, focus it down so we can get out onto the map and start to take some bigger fish.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Crucible just wasn't available for that Force to Core used elsewhere during the fight, and that just opens up issues. Delphi going to have to rush a Crucible of his own. You can see the components are ready to go, just needs the gold to finish it off, and so rushes up top to steal some of that farm away so he can purchase it. And now, potentially, that Force Accord won't have as much impact once that Crucible is finished here for Delphi. Really important that you do have those double Crucibles ready and communicating them as well.
Pull! Delphi made the I think that was a blind pull. I'm not sure, but I know that they had vision on Delphi. Anyway, pull starting all over, they burst him down. Nice play.
Absolutely. And if Delphi lands those pulls, then things turn around. That's kind of the power of Yates, is when he does connect them, he's devastating. Fight over this Ghost Wing here, missed.
Fight over the Ghost Wing. Shade of Talent gives him the Arcane Passage on in. Gatsby finds a stun but gets blown on up. Mixi drops the stakes in the choke point, but looks like he might die here. If they go ahead and pull off of that, they don't want to waste too much time chasing him down. Ghost Wing did reset though. Actually forced the cord. They're able to pull Oldskool back. Oldskool able to get one. He will go down, but what a play to get pulled in. Just have that presence to turn around and find a kill.
Shade Talent's in trouble here as well. Might be able to walk away.
Is he though? Is he? It's the Master Jabate as they move in to take starting all over down. Cos will be second. Looks like Quibble must be overdriven because he got a stun there on that one. But goes down as well. Team Oldskool sacrificed their captain / mid laner to get Ghost Wing and 2 kills.
I mean, Ghost Wing's cool and all, but team fights aren't better, and It seemed like TTigers squad just kind of disrespected the engage that Lyra pulls out. Shaded Talent's been pretty on point with these arcane passages so far this game here, Humanist. Something that's really been an issue for the side of TTigers is the fact that Shaded Talent can dive on in, basically put a Reza, a Yates on your backline, then allow an Adagio to be up close and personal, get that fire going. Real tough times ahead for TTigers squad. They're down so far. That Ghost Wing buff, if it can be utilized by Oldschool's team, will be devastating.
This game is, it's pretty much everything we expected. We knew it was going to be a tight matchup. Net worth very even. Kill score in favor of Team Oldskool 9-4. We're 11.5 minutes in as Cause, showing that he is, of course, polite company over here. Now, on a very offensive arcing passage, once again, Team Oldskool pulls the trigger. They're moving in. They want starting kites back with that nice water wall drop down. Tiggs into the thick of things. 3-man stun. Now the stun coming out from Oldskool. Nope, doesn't connect. Nice block off. Kinetic trying to get the damage onto TTigers. Not enough to find the kill. Delphi isolated on the front of the fight. He goes down. Let's see if they want to continue to chase for more. And you can see they're allowing themselves to get in position for it, but not going to force anything as Team TTigers comes out on top.
But that was a 4v5. Where was Neon Fire? That Reza could have turned that fight around. The coordination needs to just be that much better from Oldschool because they have the damage, they have the power in a 4v5 to almost win the team fight.
Well, we're going to find out. Starting! Blown up! Oldschool's coming online! Cause, all you can do is turn around, try and get the stun. TTigers finds the follow-up stun as well. A force record pulled back into the strength 3-man. Could it happen over here? Nice 2-man get the wall from Gatsby, plus the damage is there. Yates has got the double kill. They're going ham. They're turning it up. Dowsey looking for some more. Will they be able to get a Gatsby? Combat roll forward. That looks like it's just out of range, but they build, but not when you move on forward with your boots. They got another impale. They got another one. They're turning it up. They're coming back more. They want it. Team TTigers is here for blood.
Just feels like tilt coming out of Oldschool. I don't know why they were aggressing like they did when Delphi was dead. Maybe they felt like the respawn could turn into something for them, but they were out of position. They were outnumbered, and they didn't have the health bars ready to go for that fight. Once more punished. Can't fight when you don't have your crucibles, especially against a Lance, against a Finn who's just going to have so much CC, AoE, lockdown. In a jungle as well. I mean, if Suijay was here, we would talk about the corridors. You don't fight in them against these characters.
We can talk about the corridors.
We can talk about the corridors.
Talk about some choke points and corridors and where you fight on the map. Oh no, another arcane passage in aggressively. Shaded Talent trying to make something happen, but his team wasn't there with him. It's a curious move here. Oldschool has to be careful. He's taking a lot of damage. You can't allow yourself to be on the front of this fight like this. Shaded Talent's dropping low. 3-man force the cord on in here, but it's Gatsby first to fall. Neon Fire jumps over with a Netherform detonator. He drops. Shaded Talent drops the bulwark, continues to run. Oldschool isolated, chopped on down. These guys just got picked apart like they don't even know how to play the game.
And Delphi didn't use his crucible on the force to call. Communication just not there. You cannot allow Finn to pull 3 into your team when you're this far behind. It's just basic Vainglory here, Humanist. Rough stuff to watch.
Basic
and it does
Vainglory. Just your basic getting there plays, am I right?
It's just it's your fundamentals, isn't it, Humanist? This is what you're required to do. If you're in the jungle, you are that secondary support. You do have that crucible ready to go, that fountain when necessary, depending on the way you're playing the game. Unfortunately, Delphi just hasn't been hitting the mark.
It's just a matter of time before Delphi hits that mark. Honestly, he's just utility. He has to get that great pull. Unfortunately, like, he can't use his ultimate to, like, that big of an advantage because he can't really split the map. He can't apply pressure on one half of the map and then jump in and get some damage down or control the team fight. It's like you do one or the other. It means that he just has to already be there. He's not doing anything. Like, he's not taking advantage of his kit to the full extent, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, his role is just not... It's just on the same level as TTigers, and that's really unfortunate. It's not to say that Delphi is the reason that we're losing. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus. There's been a lot of misplays, Oldschool and Shaded Talent also to blame here. That doesn't help. And now it looks like Delphi's dead again.
Is interesting. Shaded Talent's going to drop the Bulwark and then the Arcane Passage Sigil to try and boost himself. It was, you know, he made the play. On the other side of the map, though, Tiggs and Mixi going ham. They're onto the turret. Tiggs, he jumps in deep. Oldskool's on the back of the fight, stutter stepping him his way back. Can he get another heal? Keep this guy alive. He can keep the Anacho alive. It's not enough. He's down. Neonfire able to get Mixi, but Tiggs, is he able to get one more? No, not quite. Neonfire and Delphi put it together for a 1-4-2 trade, but still doesn't feel good to have Oldskool down, especially when Black Claw is being taken.
Oh, yep.
Oh, it's stolen!
Okay, Delphi
turned up. You said Delphi had to get some plays, and he did it right in the nick of time. Plus, pull back on the Crystal Treant. Still goes over the cause, but not a big deal. And now the Arcane Passage in. They're looking for more. They want another kill or two, but it starts to be turned around. Nice force score to pull back and to get the wall on. Cosby sets him up, so starting all over can chop him down. This is back and forth Vainglory action here.
Not like this, Humanist. You make such a good play and then you just a megalol against the wall over and over, and it's starting all over, making the plays. This Lorelei burning blanks apart. Just too much. They feel the desperation on the back of their neck, Humanist. And they're falling prey to it. Yes, they saved the game. Blacklaw didn't get taken by Team Tiggs. Team Tigers weren't able to secure that objective, which means that there is more minutes left in this game, which means there is still a tiny bit of hope for Team Oldskool. But when you go from desperation to desperation, it starts crumbling in your face, then it doesn't look likely.
Dude, Oldskool is going to win this game for sure. I feel it in my weary bones. How is it going to happen? Check this. You know what is actually kind of cool, Dowsy, is like Yates can really get into any position he wants. Now he's got this Atlas Pauldron, so maybe he just like jumps in to get this Atlas Pauldron down on key targets. It's literally an unstoppable strategy.
How do you counter it? It's impossible.
Right? Like, you don't. You're basically like, well, I'll see you in the finals. I guess that's how I deal with it. A two-man MP start off, Gaspy, stun to follow, Blanks is dropping low, Blanks is blown up at the beginning of the fight. You gotta try and kite back if you're Team Oldskool. You cannot afford to lose another member right now. Oldskool pulls up for the first judgment, but stunned out by Gaspy against the turret. The perfect play at the perfect time. Now Shaded Talent just trying to buy some time using this Arcane Passage and running himself away. They lose 2, leaving 3 heroes still on the map, but I do not think a contest is possible.
No, not at all. You've lost it already. This is practically GG at this point, unless the miraculous happens. And you're not going to contest it. Okay, Shaded Talent did try to contest it a little bit late on the ball, and now Shaded Talent is dead.
Freaking legend. Shaded Talent nearly made the most hype play of the day.
He was like 5 seconds late, Humanist.
I mean, that was just really about as close as we've ever seen in the competitive scene. Oh, just the impale into the fish food. That was nice. Now Wolfsmaw's going to pull Gaspy back. He's pretty tanky. Gaspy taking a lot of damage. Gaspy going to go ahead and go down, but a nice 2-man Quibble coming back the other way means Blanks falls as well. And it looks like Neonfire's made the call. Look, team, I'm just going to go ahead and push, keep them busy. I'll be pushing this bottom lane, aka his top lane, but same thing's happening for Mixi on the top of the map. He gets himself a turret, and this game is just getting nuts.
It's gone off the cliff, Humanist. Everyone's
fight Tiggs, right? Don't you fight? I guess you can't really chase him down if he chooses to fully run away, and he's being collapsed on, so forces him back, TP's his own.
Remember the days when Reza was the character with the...
Oh, Mixi! Wow. I hope the cameraman caught that one.
You remember the day when Reza used to be considered the most mobile character in Vainglory?
Reza has just always been hot garbage in my eyes.
Oh wow, okay, cheers.
I'm just kidding.
How about the Ozo, right?
I mean, that's
worst
a
hero in the game, unlucky.
That's a hero. Because basically, like, the devs see so much potential in this hero, they're just going to keep him constantly nerfed so he doesn't take over the game. It wouldn't be fair. Right now, this game's on a knife's edge. They'll take down the Reza. Shaded Talent yet to respawn. You need to make the hero plays. TTigers, he's dropped down low. All they got to do is focus down the Vein Crystal, and it looks like they're doing it, ladies and gentlemen. It will be the victory from Team TTigers, leaving us with a 3-way tie here. And I don't know how this is all going to play out, Dowsy, but I'm sure it's going to be interesting.